I am back with another video to help encourage, motivate, and support you throughout your grief journey. We have company today. We have a special guest, and I'm going to let her officially introduce herself. But she goes by the name of Asia Love. I've known her for, I think, about 28 years or more. And so we share a common bond in the fact we both lost our mother. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to just ask her a few questions. My goal today is that something that she or I will say to you guys that you can connect with, or just feel like you're not alone in your situation. So I'm going to pass the mic, so to speak, to Asia and let her give a brief introduction of herself.
Hello, hello. Yes, my name is Asia. Some of you out there who view Lisa's previous post may recognize that you didn't know me. Me and Lisa and myself, we did grow up in church together. Hallelujah. I lost my mom in 2016. It was a traumatic experience, to say the least. And Lisa's mom came to the church, Sister Patterson came to the hospital rather, and then prayed the hospital down. When my mom was in Caroline's Medical Center. She had liver cancer. I think a number of things contributed to her developing cancer. We'll go into that maybe at a later time. But as Lisa has stated in many of her posts, grief is an experience that has many waves, levels, variables, and you have to learn how to cope with the grief that you're experiencing due to a loved one passing away. So I'm very excited to join Lisa on this journey, expressing our experience with grief, as well as hoping to inspire others to deal with their grief experience. So hopefully something that we say can encourage you, to let you know you're not alone. Grief has many stages, and it's not something that ends today, tomorrow. It's a lifelong thing, because if you love someone, you're going to constantly remember them in some capacity and deal with that in some type of way. So hopefully, I'll bring some points to share that can also enlighten your journey.
All right, cool. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to be glancing down at my phone because I'm going to ask her a few questions and then let her just expound on those. And I don't want to forget, what I want to ask her. All right. So the first question I want to pose to Asia is, how has grief changed you? And that's a question I want to know on the negative side and also the positive side. So we want to look at both aspects. So how has grief changed you?
Well, grief has impacted me in a number of ways, even before my mom passed away. My Aunt Mary Grace, who was my grandmother's sister, she passed away. I can't remember the exact year, but through my Aunt Mary Grace's passing, it really helped me to embrace life and embrace life in the present moment. And I'm going to give you an example of why. So we were at our family reunion, and my Aunt Mary was there, and I asked her to take a picture, and she was like, okay. But we couldn't get the picture to work. And I was like, well, don't worry about it, Aunt Mary. We'll see each other again, and we'll just get it next time. But my Aunt Mary passed away that October.
Oh my God.
So the next time never came.
Wow.
So that situation helped me to always embrace every moment, to show people you love them in the moment and never take anything for granted. Because I feel like as human beings, we just so arrogant and think we have all this time, and we don't control anything.
That's true.
So when it came to my mom's death, I have peace about it, because I know I love my mom, and I showed her love, and I not just showed it to her, I gave it to her in words and in actions. So that really gave me a lot of peace, because we know that we all are going to experience death of a loved one in some capacity in our life. So in my opinion, the way to prepare for that is to love people while you have them.
That's good.
Don't take things for granted. Don't sit around bottling things up or assuming people know how you feel about them. Tell people you love them.
It's true.
When you see them, you give them a hug, because you don't know what can happen. Now, of course, my mom's death has some negative aspects to it, because death is hard. Just going through the process of planning a funeral, you are such in a fog. You like, when it's over, you like, we went to a funeral?
Right.
Was I even there?
Yep.
Right? And you have so many layers that can make a grieving process hard. And to be transparent, but not to be too mouthy or too wordy, a lot of times it's not outside forces that make grieving hard. It's inside forces, meaning your own family sometimes can be the culprits, because everybody's going through their raw emotions, and sometimes people don't know how to handle their emotions, so they're lashing out at people,
Yeah.
acting like they're the only people that are grieving.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of positive components because I respect and honor life, but the negative parts were it's just your mom's not here, my mom's not here,
Right.
So
Okay, so that answer is perfect because that's going to lead me into the next question, which is, do you feel like you had a strong support system after you experienced your loss, and do you feel like that is still the case now? And so, I don't want to get too much into Asia's business. Again, she told me no question was off limits, so I'll let her go in as far as she wants with this question. But it is important to have a good support system, not just when the grief first happens, but also after, um, and that'll sometimes fade away. You'll notice you'll have a huge influx of people around you when the grief first happens, and then people kind of fade away, and we don't judge them. People have lives, but it is good to still have people that are around you or that can support you, and they understand what you're going through. So with that, I'll go ahead and let her answer the question.
well, as Lisa said, people have lives, and people want to be supportive, but after a while that does fade away. I'm gonna have to say that to just sit in truth and transparency. People did ask, how are you doing? But if you want to say support system, I didn't have a good support system after my mom died. It really wasn't a good support system when my mom was sick, to tell you the truth. And when you might say, well, what does that mean? Um, when you have people who have been a caregiver to a loved one who is ill, it's more than just seeing them in the grocery store and say, well, I'm praying for you. If you have a relationship with the family, if you have, what you consider a relationship and love for those persons, sometimes it's okay to say, and it shouldn't be always people got to ask you.
Right.
It can be you driving by the house. Hey, I just want to bring over some food for y'all. I know y'all are here. You take care of your mom. When I was taking my mom, I wasn't working, and I was in Rockingham for a year, and no one ever asked, do you need any money to pay your phone bill, to pay your car insurance?
That's important.
Nothing. I mean, that's just the truth. And even, like I said, I was there a whole year not working, and even when I left, it wasn't, hey, do you need somewhere to stay? Do you need any money to get back on your feet? Nothing. So it was just, back in survival mode, what got into survival mode to get back on my feet. And, it just is, I would say it is what it is, but I don't fault anybody for that. But Big, you asking the question, was there support? No. But it does make me more empathetic to people who are.
Right.
And if I see somebody taking care of someone, I don't ask. I just go ahead and give them some money or stop by. You need anything, whatever. So,
and not to interrupt, but that's a good point there. So if you're looking, so that's a great point because maybe you haven't experienced loss, but you want to support someone who is going through that. These are good tips also, just to inform you on what you can do for someone. Maybe you don't know, or you weren't sure what to say or what to ask someone. And Asia's giving some good examples of, rather than just saying, what can I do? Just jumping in there and saying, hey, is it okay if I do this for you? Or, I wanted to do this for you and I hope you're okay with that. Sometimes people don't want to ask, but
it's a lot of stuff going on too.
Yeah, it's a lot. You can't remember. It's just a lot. So for people to, just go ahead and do, that's a great point, when you're supporting someone. And then, like she said, you're empathetic once you go through it and well, this is what I needed. So, I can pay it forward. So that was a great point. I'm glad you brought that up.
The town of Rockingham where my mom lived, they did an excellent job by my dad and my brother Brandon, who's still there, because black people, it's gonna be chicken, collard greens. It was so much food that I put a message out, hey, please do not bring
no more food. Yeah, we had to do the same.
But because my dad and Brandon are gonna be here, bring toiletries, things they're gonna need that my mom would have bought. And when I tell you, my dad didn't have to buy just detergent, laundry powder, toilet paper for 2 years.
Oh wow.
He didn't have to buy it for 2
Wow.
years. So Rockingham really showed up for my dad and
That's
my
good.
brother when my mom passed away.
Mhm.
And honoring that request that I made at that time.
That's good. I think we ended up with a lot of paper towels and tissue. Not that much, not 2 years worth, but stuff like that is really helpful. You don't have to think about going to the grocery store and grabbing, that kind of stuff. So yeah, waters. I think things like that
Yeah,
are
waters,
yeah,
yeah.
that's really good. Okay, so next question is, has grief affected your physical health at all?
No, because I've always been into working out
Mhm.
and holistic wellness and eating healthy.
Mhm.
So even when my mom was sick, I was going to the track at the high school and walking.
Mhm.
And I understand that if you don't let out anger, grief, whatever it is, it will show up in your body physically.
Yeah.
So I always stayed on top of walking. I did breathing exercises, which I still do now. So pretty much staying active in a healthy way, meaning like I said, eating healthy, going walking, breathing exercises to make sure that that grief was not sitting in my
Yeah.
muscles, my tissues, my
Mhm.
cells, getting it
Mhm.
out.
That's good because Asia's actually going to help me with that. So, again, I'm not perfect. I'm not a therapist, but you can always reach out to someone who has skills that you don't. And so she's going to help me with whole. So, Asia's strong point is, nutrition, exercise, working out. I can truly say, again, if I'm being fully transparent, those of you that know me know I've never been the size that I am now. And we were talking about this outside of here, just loving yourself. Now, I do love myself, but there's always room for improvement. So Aisha's going to help me with the physical side, just so I can get back to closer to where I was. I do have 2 children, so I blame some of that on them.
Stop being so hard on herself, honey.
But yeah,
we gonna do it.
Yeah,
she
for
wants
sure.
to do, and
Accountability.
there you go.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're like me, stress of holding grief in has definitely affected me internally. And it's not necessarily the food because I don't feel like I eat any different. If anything, I probably eat less. But when you're holding stress in, it will put more weight on you physically and mentally. So, kind of got to release that also. So, that was great. Great to know. And then I want to ask her, looking at the future when it comes to grief, how do you process thinking about another time you may have to experience another loss? Or do you even think about it?
I do think about it. I always think about like how I'm gonna be prepared for particular losses, But like I said, my motto is being present in the moment and loving people while I have them. I'm very vocal. I tell people I love you, I care about you, I'm so happy I met you. I'm very affectionate, physical touch. Because like I said, we can't be arrogant to think that we control the times. We don't control anything. You have deaths that you can prepare for, meaning someone is sick and they're saying like this is going to be terminal. But you have that unexpected death that nobody was prepared for. That the person just died,
Right.
whether it's from tragic car accident or just in their sleep. And one thing that gives me peace is being able to say, I told them how I felt about them. I showed them how I felt about them.
Yeah.
And, leaving it there, that's just really
That's
how
good.
I prepare for it.
That's good. I felt the same way. I did compartmentalize a lot because I didn't want it to be my reality. But I do have that peace knowing that anything my mother needed or wanted, even in the transition, I was there. And so I don't have to live with that guilt that some people do. And again, no judgment. But if you leave, that loved one leaves knowing that you cared about them, then you can kind of, have a peace about that. And if you didn't, it's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. You just know you've learned a lesson for, unfortunately, life has to end at some point. So for the next time, if it comes up, you'll just know this is how I want to handle this, moving forward.
Right.
This has been really awesome. I'm so glad to have someone beside me this time that I can kind of bounce off of. So you're going to see Asia's face a lot. We're going to do some things together. We're going to partner up, and we definitely want to take this grief thing, further. It's so many people out there that have been reaching out saying that this is helpful. And there are so many people that may be nervous about talking about it. It may not be a normal thing for them, but we're hoping that you will open up, find someone to talk to, reach out to us. And I really just appreciate her answering the questions, being transparent. Is there anything else that you want to say before you close out? And just to let you guys know, I didn't know any of these answers, so I'm just kind of I'm learning some things about her as we go. So I'll let her, close it out however she wants to.
Well, I'm very proud of you, Lisa. I think it
you.
was took a lot of courage to step out and want to start something. This is very needed. We all are going to go through grief at some point, whether it's death of a loved one, friend, significant other, end of a relationship, end of a dream. Grief comes in many forms and stages, and just my little tidbit of opinion that I gave here today. It's a lot more to unfold, and we will get more into it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to life and death, one thing I can say is live in the moment. Love people while you have them here. And it can be kind of weird because you don't want to OD on it. Become like, okay, now, all right. But love people genuinely while you have them. Tell them how you feel about them. Tell people I was thinking about you today. Just checking on you. Because we don't know the time or the hour, the day or the week, the year when it could be over. But if you have lost someone, don't beat yourself up if you feel that you were not there or you didn't give what that person needed. We're all human, and all you can do is take those lessons from that time and let it better help you love the people that are still here. Love yourself, love your life.
Forgive yourself,
right? Forgive others. Don't sit around holding grudges because we're all human. We all fall short. So love people, the people in your life. Love your family. Love your friends. Love your significant other. Don't be so critical. If it can be fixed, fix it. If it can't be fixed, let's find some way around it or something. Because life doesn't owe us anything.
It's true.
So, hopefully this podcast awesome. That we're going to get into.
This is awesome.
We're going to be able to, just help others deal with their grief, talk about different forms of grief, different situations of grief. And I'm excited. What's our name?
Good Grief, Great Mourning.
Good Grief, Great Mourning.
Yeah. Love y'all.